can't do this, you can't do that, you're not allowed to wear this, you're not allowed to wear that, you're not allowed to wait till this long to have a baby. Like, we're just constantly like, what's up, baddies? I'm Rima, and you are now tuned in to the remix. Today, I want to tell you a story about what moments have really transformed not just my career, but honestly, my life and the entire trajectory of the vision that I see for my future. So if you're new here, I started the Remix. It's my digital mastermind community for Arab women interested in personal development and business. I started it back in early 2021. And, I was pretty much just doing it by myself, trying to build this thing and trying to stay hopeful, even though, as you know, in our community, it's just not very traditional to start a business, let alone an online business. And I was really trying to combat a lot of the self-doubt that I realize now was a reflection of a lot of the things that we've all heard growing up. And we'll get into that later on in this video. I have family that lives in Dubai. So on one of my trips to visit family, one of my best friends who actually lives there now invited me to a mastermind session. And if you don't know what that is, you are not alone, because at the time I'm like, okay, I guess I'll come with you. I don't really know what that is, but if you're an online business owner, which she is, and you find benefit in that, I'm sure it'll benefit me. So I went in with an open mind, not really knowing what to expect from it. And this is basically how it went. So we show up to this coffee shop, and it was a small group of women, around 5 of us. And each woman went around and said, basically, who she is, what she does, and where she's at now, and the struggles she's experiencing in her business. This was specifically a business-focused mastermind. And then after we each shared, every other woman in the group basically gave each person like advice, words of encouragement, resources. It just was such an amazing 1.5, 2 hour session where we were each pouring into each other and just showing each other love and affirming each other and helping each other out. And I walked out of that space for the first time in my life actually feeling like, okay, I think I can do this. And it was actually Barat and her sister Mirna who encouraged me to just double down on Arab women. Before, I was kind of scared to focus, even though I give other people that advice all the time. I had this fear of focusing, and they were like, do it, you can do it. Oh my God, trust me, once you do it, you're gonna experience so much success and you're gonna connect with your audience so much more. And I wanna tell you why that space was so valuable. So now let's go back to growing up as an Arab woman, just constantly hearing these messages of, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not allowed to wear this, you're not allowed to wear that, you're not allowed to wait till this long to have a baby. We're just constantly and it's not always our parents. My parents weren't really super traditional in that sense of trying to contain me. Both of my parents were super supportive of me pursuing higher education, and just kind of wanted me to be happy, right? But still, all around me are these messages of, why did you go into that? Or you're too smart to be a teacher. You just really limiting messages. And at some point, even the strongest minded of us, our inner thoughts are going to mirror the things that we're constantly hearing. And so if for almost 3 decades of my life, I'm hearing these very limiting, scarcity driven thoughts, it's going to get to me, right? And that 2 hour session, believe it or not, I don't even think it was a full 2 hours. It gave me enough positive affirmation to draw from when those other thoughts started to come through. So when I would kind of hear those thoughts of self-doubt and what I can and can't do, and you're never going to be successful, it's like I had this little reserve of positive thoughts of other people who not only believed in me, but who are doing it themselves. And I could draw from that in order to combat those negative thoughts. And it kind of clicked at that moment. And so, I went back into the world just feeling for the first time excited about what I was building. And so since that day, I've joined so many Facebook groups. I've invested in so many online programs, so many membership clubs, just to kind of immerse myself in these environments where other people not only believe in what I'm doing, but are also doing really non-traditional lit things. I was actually literally on a call today with one of these groups that I'm in, and on this group coaching call, they literally described the space as a container. We're putting ourselves in this container. And it was such a beautiful metaphor because it really resonated with what I've been feeling of we need these universes, we need these worlds, we need these containers where people believe in us, where there are positive messages and just affirmations, because it kind of needs to shield us and contain us from the outside world of people who don't believe in us or thoughts that are very limiting and outdated. And this really brings me to why I want this for Arab women. If you are an ambitious Arab woman watching this, this is for you. I just started to wonder, like, man, if that 2-hour session in Dubai changed my life for over a year now, I'm still talking about it. What would the world look like for Arab women if we had that to draw from, like literally at the tip of our fingers all the time? What if we also had a community that we could go into of people who believe in us, people who support us, people who don't want to diminish the things that we are dreaming or the things that we want, but who are actually trying to like enable those things, right? And I'm speaking specifically to any Arab woman who just wants more for her life, whether that's career, whether that's her personal relationships. She doesn't want to be told that she needs to settle for anything less than what she deserves. What would the world look like for Arab women if, instead of telling people that they need to figure out their career at 17 years old, or they need to pursue this because it's lucrative, and if you try to do this, it's too risky, what would the world look like if we had a community of baddies that were ready to support you, like ready to actually hear you out and affirm you and clap for you and celebrate you? What would the world look like if we had a space where we could read personal growth books together and discuss them through the lens specifically of being an Arab woman? If you haven't watched my recent YouTube video, I'll link it up here, about boundary setting through the lens of Arabness, through the lens of our culture. Like, these are mainstream books that in other spaces that I'm part of, people are discussing, but there's always this like missing piece of their discussion is really interesting and thought-provoking, but I'm Arab and like I can't really tell my mom this, or I'm Arab and like this just doesn't really work the way that my culture is set up. Like, what would it look like if we could actually discuss these things through the unique lens and perspective of who we are and how this applies to us, given our culture and given our values? That's kind of the space that I've been envisioning, honestly, for months now. And I want to shout out one of the baddies, Sarah. So Sarah DM'd me, and this was maybe a few months back, saying that I should start an Arab women's mastermind group. And it's an idea since that day in Dubai that I've just been like thinking about. And at the time, it really, really didn't feel like the right time, but I've genuinely like lost sleep over the idea since she and I had that conversation in our DMs. And I've just been thinking like, man, like, oh, okay, I really want to focus on the rebrand experience. So the rebrand experience is my digital community for Arab women. It's a business accelerator for the Arab baddie who is starting a brand or business that she wants to scale to 6 figures. I've been pouring so much energy and love into that community that at the time I just didn't feel like I could venture out and do something else. But then like, I just felt this pull over the last month or so to do it. And so at the time, it really wasn't the right time for me. But because I lost sleep over this thing for over 2 months, I finally like put my head down and I'm like, okay, let me do this. What can it look like? And so I'm so excited to tell you that at the point of recording this video, I have just launched the BaddieVerse. And I want to tell you about what that is. So if you are an ambitious Arab woman who is just sick of being told that what she wants is crazy, or the goals that she has for herself are too much or unrealistic, if you want to be part of a community who does not think your goals are crazy, who does not judge you for wanting more for yourself, whether that's personally or professionally, then the BaddieVerse was created for you. So the BaddieVerse is a digital mastermind community for Arab women. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what you get once you're inside, but I want to make sure we're a good fit. The BaddieVerse is a digital mastermind community for the ambitious Arab women. And once you're inside the BaddieVerse, you'll be engaging with other Arab baddies who want to support you, who are not judgmental, who will never screenshot anything that you say and put it in like a petty group chat to laugh at you. Like, that is not the type of crowd that we're attracting at all. It's a space where women want to help each other grow. They want to clap for each other. They want to share resources. They want to discuss books together. And so when you're inside, what you can expect are monthly virtual events, coffee chats, and guest speakers. And basically the point of that is to just keep us inspired and to keep us shattering those mental glass ceilings that have kind of been programmed into us for our whole life. You'll also get enrollment into the Busy Baddies book club. This is a book club designed to talk about personal development topics through the lens of an Arab woman. And so through the Busy Baddie book club, you will not have to leave anything behind. You'll be able to bring those identities to the table when we talk about these books and these personal growth topics. I call it the Busy Baddie book club because nobody has time to sit there and stress about whether you're falling behind on reading. So this is not like school. You won't have to worry about that. And then in addition to having this lively community of other supportive Arab women who are cheering for you and want to see you win, you'll also get membership to a members only private podcast hosted by me. If you're watching this video for this long, you clearly don't mind me talking. And so I'll be talking about personal growth topics, mindset, and boundary setting through the perspective of me, an Arab woman. So at the time of recording this video, the BaddieVerse is open for enrollment. I don't want to date this video, but there will be a link below either way, whether it's an enrollment link or a waitlist link. But either way, I'm inviting you to help me grow this space, to grow this world where we don't have to be told that the things that we want are unrealistic. This world where we can log into this community and feel just inundated with positive messages, with messages of love and support, so that when we do go out into the world and people do try to tell us that our dreams are crazy, we have evidence and we have love and support that can combat those negative messages. So definitely drop a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Do you have any communities that you turn to when the negativity gets too much? Is there someone that you can talk to, or a place perhaps that you can go to kind of start combating those negative messages? I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Baddie.